This is my CO2 Dragster project. The first step to any good project is research, and in this stage we spent a lot of time Googling because we needed to learn and understand the way that airflow, velocity, and motion work in order to better understand what would help our cars race the fastest. I did find a few different types of cars that I could have constructed, but ultimately I wanted to challenge myself a little more than just making a few simple cuts, which is how I landed on this example here. Step 2 was to hand sketch and design, as well as adding all of our manual dimensions. All of the general dimensions needed to be perfect, otherwise when we printed the sketch to draw onto our cars, the dimensions would not have properly lined up, causing us to have a lot of issues further into the project. Step 3 was to model our car in Inventor. We did end up having to add a screw, 2 screw holes last minute to the bottom of the car body, in order to be able to keep our cars in line when we would be racing them later on. So in this stage, we took our manual dimensions, and used them to create the body within Inventor. And I did end up tweaking a few of these components later, while I was doing step 4, which was the assembly and exploded assembly. We had to change a few things with the straws and axles to properly model the width of our personal cars. And then once that was done, we were able to virtually assemble our cars within the Inventor software. And then after the assembly, we went ahead and did the exploded assembly, which is what is represented in these 2 pictures here. And then step 5 was our working drawings. And with that, you needed to make a different page for almost all of the parts that were on the car. So the tires, the CO2 cartridge, the body, the axles, washers, and the straws, and the screw hooks as well. And then each of those components had to have dimensioning, and they needed a front, right, and isometric view, and then some of them, like the one represented here, also needed top, bottom, and left views. And then during the construction and paint stage, we were able to cut out our personalized car, and then we needed to drill our screw holes, sand the car to make a smooth surface, and then paint our cars with whatever we ultimately decided we wanted our cars to look like. This was one of my favorite parts of the whole project because I was finally able to see my idea come to life after a couple of weeks of working on it. And then after the paint was dry, we were able to assemble our cars, which is what this picture is showing here. And then for the self-reflection, I do think that I understood what the project was asking of us. I just think that I struggled a little bit because I did miss quite a bit of class time, being out of town. And so I think that kind of affected the outcome of my car, because I was on a little bit more of a time crunch. But other than that, I do think that working with the tools, the paint, and then constructing the body in the end, I did a pretty good job. So yeah, if I had to change anything for this project, if we ever did it again, or if I wanted to do it again, I just think probably a little bit better time management, I guess. But yeah, that is my CO2 car project, and I hope you enjoyed.